Okay, so there's about 1 hour of light left in this room, and we are gonna film this video in that 1 hour. So I'm trying out a new thing with my hair, and I know that it's not working, but what can you do? I know I usually do like music things here, but I read a book. I got a physical copy of this book, okay? I don't do that because, you know, books are expensive. Here we are. Did y'all think you can't predict the future from a homeless person's intestines? You were wrong, because you can, according to Leigh Bardugo anyway. Listen, sweetie, if you haven't gone to Yale, you ain't gonna understand shit. But that's okay, because nobody else does either. Her golden hair like a parted curtain for the theater of her big blue eyes. I feel like this description of magic is the most accurate, because if magic were to exist, it would be accessible only to rich white people. So I'm just saying. Hi, my name is Sneh and I'm here to talk about this book, Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. This is her adult debut novel. Before we start, I will put a list of trigger warnings in the description box so you can read that if that's something that bothers you. I'm not going to reveal any spoilers or go into any of the disturbing details in this video because so there aren't really any trigger warnings for this, I think. I am living for this darker and more mature side to her writing. Her books to me all feel like they're very, very different. Like they have different feelings to them, you know, like the Grishaverse trilogy is very, very different from Six of Crows duology. Ninth House is playing a different ballgame altogether. It doesn't really fall into like one specific genre, and there's like so much going on. I think the best way to classify it would be dark academia. Thematically, it's very diverse. It's got a lot going on for it. I love the aesthetic, the pretentiousness of it, and we've got their murder, mystery, magic elements, the holy trio, but it also deals with heavier elements like, you know, abuse and drug addictions and feminism and supremacy and privilege, and the book is set at Yale, where Leigh Bardugo graduated from, so I guess it makes sense to her. However, I do think that most of the people who read the book are not going to Yale, haven't gone to Yale, and are probably not going ever because you know, it's hard to get into. So the first 58 pages make very little to no sense. The names of people and the places are very, you know, interchangeable, like but I do digress. The book very graciously did provide us a map of Yale at the beginning, and I looked at it and I was like, ooh, pretty. And it is a really pretty map, but I did not memorize it and therefore did not understand anything. But if you do get past that first chunk of pages, then it becomes an easier read. Anyway, the main character Alex is a survivor. I think that's the best way to describe her. She is, you know, scraping along somehow, and at the beginning of the book she just wants to get through life, you know, just like she's just like, I want to get through life, I don't want anyone to like fuck with me, and I don't want to fuck with anyone else. And Alex is like the, you know, the baddest bitch in town. She's gone through all of it, okay? She's done the drug boyfriend, she's done drugs, she's had a rough life, okay? And she has this like special ability where she can see ghosts, or greys as the book calls them. Basically, greys don't really do anything, they're quiet and kind of mind their own business, but Alex, you know, shit goes wrong with her, okay? Let's just say that. Most of her experiences with greys have been morbidly disturbing, to say the least. Anyway, through a very complicated turn of events, she gets offered a position at Yale because of this ability that she has. And at Yale there are 8 secret societies. I don't remember the names of all of them, but I do remember there was one called Book and Snake, and if anybody can take Book and Snake seriously, then you know. Oh, is that why the book, okay, is that why the book has a snake on it? Because Book and Snake? Oh my god, I'm so stupid. There are 8 secret societies at Yale who deal with magic. This magic isn't the Harry Potter magic we're talking about here. It's much more sinister, all-consuming, and sort of like a destructive force. And I love this description of magic much more. It's difficult to harness and like sort of like an unstable nuclear reaction. So these societies use magic for a lot of things, from predicting stock prices by looking at the intestines of homeless people to healing with goat's milk and making drugs to control people. You know, we've got both sides here. So it's very complex, and the rituals are complicated and shit goes wrong all the time. So the Ninth House was created, the House of Lethe, to basically make sure that these other bitches don't fuck things up for the entire world. So every 3 years the house appoints a new Dante, and this is Alex, who gets coached by a Virgil, who is another character called Darlington. And it's mentioned in the book that's a reference to Virgil guiding Dante through the 7 circles of hell or something like that. Anyway, Darlington goes missing. Like, he's never there throughout the book. We get like glimpses of his past and everything because she's describing it, and there is a non-sequential timeline of the book, but he is actually never there the entire time the book is taking place because he vanished a while ago. It's implied that it's kind of Alex's fault. But Darlington was one of the most interesting characters. I love him and I want him back. Anyway, at the beginning of the book, it's said that there is a murder of a girl called Tara Hutchins, and the murder happens on a ritual night, so Alex thinks that some of the societies might have had a hand in the murder. And it's kind of weird how she like instantly knows that, just because it bears like a sort of vague resemblance to a kind of situation that she was in before. And she kind of follows this hunch so much throughout the book that it's kind of like she had no proof, but she was like, I think this is what happened, so I am going to go out of my way to make sure it doesn't happen to anyone else or whatever, which I guess is nice. I mean, she's standing up for other women, but she had literally nothing to go on. But we learned so much about the world and the characters, and I think that's where Leigh Bardugo's strength lies, in her that and dialogue, because all the dialogue was very, very, like, you know, you got that witty banter going on, and so it was good. There's a lot of gaps in which nothing happens, but you get a lot of like the characters' backstories and the descriptions. So I think it's a more character-driven story than a plot-driven story. But of course, over the course of Ninth House, things do go from dark to light, and there's sort of like a healing that takes place for Alex, as well as the, you know, world around her. And Alex discovers her voice again. I love Alex growing into her skin. I love it when, like, you know, female characters grow into like the badass bitches that we knew they were going to become, but we're kind of worried that they wouldn't make it there. And we also see themes of like the rich becoming richer, and how people can think they're entitled to deserving everything even though they're very much not, and how the cycles of abuse and supremacy can go unchecked if not, you know, stopped. Why did I do this? So there's much more mature writing in this work than her previous works, and I think that is why it's her adult debut novel. So the themes are definitely not YA. There's a lot of, you know, kind of messed up stuff going on. Nasty stuff is going on, you know, like people eating shit and stuff. I mean, people literally eating shit, you know, like someone, it goes in their mouth. No, okay, so that, especially like the small excerpts from the protocols of Latte and the like the diary of the alumni, because it was funny and it was good and it was there are a lot of places and like small nuances where the book could have been made better, I suppose. Like at the end where there's like a monologue of the one of the characters like explaining what the fuck was going on the entire time, that could have been revealed bit by bit instead, I think. I'm just saying. So I rated it 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, and so I think unless you have like a particular aversion to gore, I think you can pick it up and have a really good time with it. The societies of Yale University and their prestigious alumni are very real, but the characters and events described in these pages are all the product of the author's imagination, and as far as I know, no one has ever used magic to fix an election. And the first page. By the time Alex managed to get the blood out of her good wool coat, it was too warm to wear it out. Whose blood? Whose blood? Ugh, I need a part 2 of this book, and I know there's gonna be a part 2 because like the story's kind of left unfinished. I really like this book. I bought a physical copy of this book. I do not do that because, you know, a bitch is poor. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you have a good one. Have a good day. Okay, bye.
Oh, simple thing, where have you gone? I'm getting old and I need something to rely on. So tell me when you're gonna let